Hello everyone, today I am just going to explain the topic inheritance in Java. According to definition, inheritance can be defined as a process where one class acquires properties, that means the class members, from another class. Here you can see one example is there, class B inherits class A. So the class A will be called base class and class B will be called derived class. The keyword extends we will use for this purpose. So you can see class B extends A, that means class B inherits properties from the class A. Need for inheritance. Capability to express the inheritance relationship. Idea of reusability, so that we can save our time, money and efforts. Transitive nature of inheritance. So these are the main three reasons by which we required inheritance. Difference between base class and derived class. Base class is a class whose properties are inherited by some other class, whereas derived class is a class that inherits properties from some other class. Base class also known as superclass or parent class sometimes. Derived class also known as subclass or child class. You can see in right side code, class B extends A. So that means class B is called derived class or subclass or child class, and whereas class A is the base class or superclass. Now we'll see different type of single inheritance. When there is only one base class and one derived class, then this type of inheritance is known as single inheritance. As you can see in this diagram, there is only one derived class, class B, inherits properties from a single base class, that is class A. Next is hierarchical inheritance. When there are more than one derived classes which inherit property from a single base class. As you can see in this diagram, class A is inherited by two derived classes, class B and class C. So this type of inheritance is known as hierarchical inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. You can see like class B inherits property from class A, class C inherits property from class B. So that means the class B is acting as subclass for class A and superclass for class C. So this type of inheritance is known as multi-level inheritance. Actually this type of inheritance represents transitive nature of inheritance. Multiple inheritance. As you can see in this diagram, when a single derived class inherits from more than one base classes, like in this diagram you can see class C inherits properties from two base classes, class A and class B, then this type of inheritance is known as multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance in Java not supported. What is the reason? We will see in next. Multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. The reason behind this is to prevent ambiguity. For example, if we take a situation where class C inherits from class A and class B, and both classes A and B have the same method, show. Now Java compiler cannot decide which show method it should inherit. That means this show method belongs to which class, whether to class A or class B. So to prevent such situation, multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java. So what is the solution? The solution in Java for multiple inheritance is interface. Hybrid. When we'll mix more than one types of inheritance, then we'll get hybrid inheritance. You can see class A, C, E representing multi-level, whereas class C, D, E representing hierarchical inheritance. Now we have to keep some points in mind while solving inheritance based. First thing, the process of invoking constructor of base class within constructor of subclass is known as constructor inheritance. Now if the base class has parameterized constructor, then constructor of base class must be inherited within constructor of derived class using super keyword. Okay, this thing we have to keep in mind. When the base class is having parameterized constructor, then it is mandatory. But if the base class is having default constructor, then it's your choice. Either you can call that default class constructor using super explicitly, otherwise it is by default available to derived class. Okay, but in case of base class is having parameterized, then it is must to inherit that constructor with the help of super keyword. How we can write the code for this? You can see we will write subclass constructor within bracket. We will list all the parameters including both super and base classes members. Now the very first statement must be super within bracket list of parameters according to superclass members without data type. And after writing this statement, then we can initialize derived class member with the help of assignment operator. Note, you can see super must be very first statement within derived class constructor. We will see one example here. Here you can see one class A is there, one instance variable n, and parameters constructor you can see that is initializing this instance variable n with the value nn. Now class B we are going to define which extends A, that means class B is the derived class and class A is base class. Class B is also having its one instance variable, that is double A. So while we are going to define constructor for class B, so we need total two parameters, one for integer n and one for double A. So you can see public B, so first argument we are taking for int x for integer n and double y we are taking for double A. And as I told you, first we have to write super in bracket parameters according to parameterized constructor of class A. So we have to write only super x. So whenever this statement will be executed, it will invoke base class constructor. After that we can initialize instance variable A with the help of y. So A equals to y. So in this way we have to define constructor of derived class. Next point is the private members of the base class are visible, that is occupy memory in the derived class, but they are not directly accessible. Means memory so they will occupy, but we can't access them. Like we are taking one example. Here you can see that class is having two members, private index and int y. So x I have taken as private member and y I have taken as default member. So one parameter constructor is defined for this superclass, and that is initializing x and y. You can see one function I have taken, void show, which is displaying the value of these x and y. Now I am just going to define class subclass, which is extending or inherits superclass. That class is also having its local variable z. Now constructor how to define, I told you we have to list all the parameters. So first two integers are for superclass and one double C we are taking for this double z. First statement should be super. So super A comma B, that will invoke base class constructor. Then we can initialize z. Now if we wish to print all the values of x and y and z, so if you try to do so, you will get error. What is the error? We have declared x as private members, so it is not accessible. Y is accessible because that is the default member, but private members are not allowed outside the class. Okay, so private member will occupy memory space, but the shadowing or function overriding. When a derived class function has the same name as that of its base class member function, the derived class function hides the base class function regardless of return type or arguments, and this situation is called function overriding or shadowing. This is another example of polymorphism. One example we have seen function overloading, and this is the second example of polymorphism, that is called function overriding or shadowing. To understand it, we will take one example. Here is the example. You can see class superclass we are taking. So int x I y constructor is there, we are displaying function. Then class subclass extend superclass, it is having that z variable. We have taken the previous example, only we are extending it. So dot 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 means we have defined derived class constructor here. Now we are mainly focus on that show function. So public void show, and system.out.println we are writing. So you can see the function name show is same as of the function show in base class. Name is same. So when we try to call the function show inside main ob.show, so it will simply overwrite the previous definition which was displaying super x and super y. So in place of super x and super y, now the value of z only will be displayed. So when we will execute this program, we will see the value of z, that is 15.5. According to the object creation constructor definition, you can see we are passing 10, 12, 15.5. So for z it will be 15.5. So we will get the output 15.5. Now what is the solution? How we can get super x and super y also? So one solution is that if we change the name, if the functions are having different names, then it is okay. Take inside derived class function name as show1, and then if you try to call ob.show, then it simply will call the base class function. So now you can see the output super x equals to 10 and super y equals to 12. Okay. Functions are having same name, then how we can access both? Okay, how we can unveil it? So the solution is we can unveil or unhide base class members with the keyword super as super.baseClassMember. It is applicable for both function as well as instance variables. Okay, so like in that example, we need to write super.show. So in that, to execute that function also of base class, inside derived class function definition, we simply write super.show. So it will display first super x and super y, then it will display z. One thing I want to tell you here, कि inside main method, inside any static method, we will never use super and this keyword. Super and this keywords are associated with instance only. So we cannot access them inside static method. So inside main method, super is not allowed. So we will write this statement super.show only inside the function show. So when we will try to execute this function, the output will be, you can see, super.show will invoke the base class function show, and accordingly we will display super x equals to 10, super y equals to 12, and then z equals to 15.5. So you will get the output super x equals to 10, super y equals to 12, and z equals to 15.5. Okay. Now final variables and methods. Sometimes it is the requirement. We don't want to change one particular definition or any variable value inside its derived class. So when we want to restrict it, we can define that variable or method as final variable or final method simply with the help of final keyword. So all variables and methods can be overridden by default in subclasses. To prevent it, we can declare them as final using the keyword final. As simply with a variable, we will precede it with final keyword and say function. Like in that previous example, if for base class function show, if we will write that as final public void show, and when we try to access that function, so we will see, we will get this error: show in subclass cannot override show in superclass. Overridden method is final. So if we try to attempt that definition to modify that definition of base class function, so you will get the error. I hope this thing is clear to you. Other topics we will discuss in next video. Till then, bye. Thank you.